Hey guys, it's Viejo here, and we're right in the middle of the first week of December here in 2024. A kind of chilly start to the day here on the central coast of California. It was a little bit foggy, but it's clearing off. Gonna be a nice day because I got some picnicking plans to take care of today. Gonna be fun. Hey, this is episode 6, part 2 of Wadcutter Wednesday. If you're just tuning into this series, what I'm doing is I've got a whole bunch of wadcutter molds. More than 20, okay, and over half of them are for 38 special, but I've also got them in 41, 44, and 45 Colt. And originally I was going to do all of these, do all the 38s first, and that got boring really quick. So we're going to start mixing in some of these others. And what I've got for you today is the loading and shooting of the Lyman 429348 that we cast up last time in part 1 of episode 6. There's the round right there. And this is a good example of a type 3 wad cutter. In fact, I've had a couple requests from folks say, hey, can you explain the differences? And I'm going to put out a short video here very soon, within the next week, to kind of clear up, what do we mean when we say a type 1, type 2, type 3? It's pretty simple, but we'll get some examples out and show you guys that. I loaded these with some unique powder, and I've shot these before with a couple of different loads, and I've tried 5, 6, and 7 grains. With 7 grains of unique, you can get these guys running. It's a fairly heavy bullet, right? Okay, running up over 800 feet per second. But I like shooting them with 5 grains. The standard deviation sucks with that load, but they're pretty accurate, and it's a nice, light, fun round to go shoot. You punch a big old hole in your target, of course, with that big CW long shot style me plant on there, right? So anyway, it's fun at that level, and they're only going a little over 500 feet per second, 530 something. I think I'll go look it up, and I'll put it in here at some point in the video for you guys. But anyway, I loaded them on the Redding T7 press with mostly the RCBS Cowboy dies for 44, plus the newer Lyman Cowboy cedar die, which I really like. But let's go ahead and get into the loading part right away. It won't be real long, but I'll show you how how that went. Here's our bullet, the Lyman 429348, a 185 grain wad cutter for 44 caliber. And if you look closely, we got 2 grooves that are identical, and a nice shoulder up there on top of that leading driving band. Okay, right there. So you could do a taper crimp on that, or you could do a roll crimp over top of that, but I'm going to roll crimp into that top groove, which I think is actually a grease groove. But I've loaded and shot these before, and they actually load pretty well right there. And so we'll do a real light roll crimp in there. You can see on that dummy round. Okay, just a really light crimp. We're going to load these light, and they're going to only be going at maybe 600 feet per second and have a really cruddy standard deviation. But we don't care. We're going to shoot these probably at 7 yards just for fun. Really light recoil round. Going to be using Winchester primers, large pistol. Okay, we got Starline brass, not new, hasn't been sized or had anything done to it other than tumbled. And we're going to dispense some unique powder here out of the RCBS Charged Master Light. I'm going to be loading on the Redding T7 turret press using my Cowboy die set for 44 special, which includes now a Hornady Cowboy cedar die. Hornady makes these dies in 38, 44, and 45 Colt. And the throat of these is a little bit wider than standard cedar dies.
which accommodates our slightly wider bullets really well. There's the Charge Master saying, "Come and get me." Anyway, I really come to like these. I actually like them better than the RCBS Cowboy cedar die. They got just a little bit more room in them, and they have that nice guide skirt. Hornady has a name for that thing. That sort of aligns the bullet and the case as it goes up into the die. And there's lots of travel on the seat stem. So that seating wad cutters, even if it were a flush wad cutter, you know, a type 1, it can accommodate that. So it's a pretty nice die. They're not real cheap. They're 35 bucks or so. And as far as I know, they're only in those 3 revolver calibers, 38/357, right? And 44, 45 Colt. Okay. So we're going to size here. I've got my decap pin pulled out. We've got the RCBS Cowboy die to do the expanding. Going to use the Hornady powder funnel die here to drop our powder. Then, of course, the Hornady cedar die. Incidentally, if you get these, the first thing you want to do is write the caliber on there, because Hornady doesn't put any identification on the outside of this. You can take your vibratory tool and, you know, scratch it in there, or you can write it on there with your Sharpie, because otherwise, I mean, they look like any other Hornady custom grade cedar die, and there's no markings on it. All right, since the Charge Master has the first charge ready to rock and roll, let's go ahead and get one loaded. And YouTubers, you know that I can't show you any of the reloading sequences on this platform. If you want to see all of that, you have to go to my Rumble channel. Just go to rumble.com and type in my channel name, which is Walter Bunning, all one word, just like that. Okay, for you guys on YouTube, we're going to jump across the loading parts of it. Stepped away for a second to get my pistol gauge. Double check and make sure it's going to go in, which it does. No sweat. Okay, just that very, very light. Where are we? There we go. Very, very light crimp on there. It doesn't take much for this light load. There we are. 49 of these Type 3 wad cutters. The Lyman 429348. 185 grains and 44 special, loaded up over a little bit of unique with some Winchester large pistol primers, ready to go. All right, and you know, if you watched the video, this mold, my Lyman 4 cavity, ran really well. I have a 1 cavity, and that's what I started with that bullet with, and I kind of liked it a lot, and all of a sudden this 4 cavity showed up used, and I grabbed it because it is a fun load. Accurate out at short distances, not going very fast, and like I said, the standard deviation is crappy on it, but let's go take a look and see how the shooting is. Okay, we have the Lyman 429348.
Ceasefire, shoot your remaining rounds and do not reload.
Okay, 6 more with the 348.
Oh yeah.
I think we should name it.
So Rifle Pistol, I'm gonna help you. 4 o'clock.
That's the Lyman 429348. Kind of a nice, fun, easy round to shoot. And there's those next 6. I didn't do as good a job there. I had that one that I threw way out up at the top.
All right, there it is.
you know, as I was saying, is it's a fun round, you know, big old honking bullet out of this big old honking firearm, and they go 530 feet per second. You know, they're a kick to go shoot. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video and maybe got something out of it. It's a fun bullet to go load, pretty easy to load. Okay, and you know, the used molds are out there for it if you are interested in it. You can find them on eBay all the time. But from the Viejo bench for now, that's all she wrote.